making a recap of my outing to the city to go advocate for the idea of world peace. And it's really great. I love going out and speaking to all these strangers about the idea. And it's just because one of the big things I spoke about was like why I do this, because to me it's important. The idea of humans being, in a sense, rationally united, um, with the common goal in mind, to really give us as humans a sense of direction for our outcome as people. That's one of the biggest things that's important to me, because I always thought adults when I was growing up had it figured out, and like you got to adulthood and all of a sudden you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. And I feel like that's a really big misconception for a lot of people, like for a lot of people growing up. And that's why like I became so, I guess, passionate about this, was because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like that was something that adults had after I became one. And as I got older, I just kind of saw that the world was just kind of, unfortunately, like people in the world are just kind of like, I guess, not lonely, but just sad. Not sad, but like disconnected. People become disconnected as they get older, and it's kind of sad as a parent, because I don't want my children to grow up, and well, I don't want any child to grow up and just become an isolated, disconnected person. You know, that's why I go out of my way to go speak to complete strangers, because I like advocating about the idea of world peace, because it's important to me. It's important to me as a person who loves people to advocate on this, because I want a more united community and just world in general, so we can have a better sense of direction. We can have somewhere that we all can come together and achieve anything we need to achieve. You know, there's, as I see right now as an adult, there's no real common ground. You know, and that was one of the big things I talked about this week to the people who were willing to talk to me. That I want there to be a common ground for adults to come together and figure out important things in life, so we can teach those important things to our children, and so on and so forth, so we can have a better sense of direction as humans. You know, that right now it seems like all we see on whatever avenue you use to get your information from, it seems like all of these places just have this notion of dividing people, of creating a bigger and bigger sense of division. It's all these points that people talk about online, and it's just all of them just divide people here, divide people there. It's all just division. You know, why have we grown so divided? And it's just like, because every topic that comes out that's big, instead of being able to come to our common ground and have a civil, respectful, constructive conversation to create a positive outcome, you know, people just take sides and plant their feet down and leave it there. You know, people don't want to work together, and you know, that's kind of damaging us as humans, all of us, you know, especially our children. You know, that's again one of the big reasons why I started doing this, because it's important for me as a person to advocate on this so we can find a way to work together and take care of all of our problems as people and just leave that behind for our children, that they have an idea of what's coming up when they reach adulthood, and that's where they come together to go forward, because no one's going to agree on everything, and that's completely logical. But there must be things that we as people can find to really work together towards, and come together as people, just polite, respectful people. Because and that's another big point I shared again this week, that there's so many of us who are just respectful people and go on about our day being respectful to others, and it's so easy to be caught off guard by one person being chaotic and just think that that's all there is, because it's not. One chaotic person is a problem, but everybody else assuming that one chaotic person is how the world is a bigger problem. We become isolated, and that isolation, another point that I was big on this weekend, was that the isolation that we're creating as people, not physically but just mentally, is also most likely one of the biggest things affecting our overall mental health as just people who live here on earth. We're creating an environment that is damaging to our mental health, and it's also another big point that I was really emphasizing this week. It's also creating the environment for other people who are malicious and wish to spread their own sense of chaos to flourish. Those people have a great environment to just go on about their lives and spread chaos and just be chaotic and harm others and take advantage of others, and that's why, like I tell people, it's important for us to work together so we can remove the idea that those people have it easy to take advantage of us as good people who respect others and want a sense of peace for our lives. And those are the big points that I really emphasized this week, because I don't want us as adults and our children to grow up in this world, because it doesn't make sense that such little amount of people who choose to be malicious in whatever way have such control over the atmosphere of our lives. Thank you for your time, and thank you to everyone who took the time out of their day to have a conversation with me. I appreciate it very much.